One of them I've got trail camera pictures of for the last 4 years. I call him Old Man.
We're hoping to find a big old grandpa deer.
I've been chasing him for 4 years. He's been #1 on the list.
That is an unbelievable deer.
You caught him.
On this week's episode, we're on a hunt in Saskatchewan with good friend Scott Peters. And although our focus is this past season, it's a hunt that started many years ago, before we had actually met Scott. And it's also a hunt that defines what it means to have a passion for hunting a particular buck.
Mid-August. Yeah, it's a little bit late, but a good buddy of ours, Scott Peters, helps us out on both shows quite a bit. He's not quite sure where to set up, so I'm just heading over and we can bunt our heads together and try to get set up in the right spot.
The deer are coming down this channel, and then they're heading out, up the ridge, up that way. What we're thinking is, if we put the ground blind in that bush right there, hopefully catch them coming either down there or through this trail before they head out there. And there's a good alfalfa field, more oats, more fresh oats, and all the guy can do is try. One big deer he's got on the go. Actually, he's got 2 big deer here coming through here pretty regular, so we're gonna set up here and hope for the best.
For a lot of us, the scouting and setup is the most enjoyable part of the hunt. Taking all you've learned and placing your stand, hoping to be rewarded, is what drives us. With Scott and Jason all set up, the season's finally here and it's time to hunt. And Scott is looking for a very particular buck.
Well, here we are, September 1st, 2013. A day that any archery hunter in Saskatchewan kind of dreams about. Opening day of whitetail season. We're all ready for our 15-minute walk in, and it's time to go. 2 good bucks coming into this spot quite frequently. Pretty sure we're in tight on them. One of them I've got trail camera pictures of for the last 4 years.
The deer is a buck that Scott calls simply the Old Man, an ancient buck that Scott's been collecting photos and sheds off of for years. And although the deer is definitely on the downward slope for horn growth, he's a buck that Scott's been trying to catch up with for years, and a deer that anyone would be honored to take. And this year, Scott is determined to make that happen.
I call him Old Man. Got 1 set of sheds off of him. He's never really been anything special, but I wouldn't think twice about shooting a 7-year-old buck.
Welcome back. Before the break, we showed you the buck that Scott calls the Old Man. Scott and Jason had gotten all set up and ready, and Scott was headed in to hunt. After getting settled shortly into the hunt, a few does and fawns make their way into the field. After this small buck makes an appearance, things slow down and Scott gets packed up to come back again.
Day 2, September 4th. Maybe it's a lucky day, you never know.
Again, fairly early in the evening, a deer makes an appearance, a young buck. However, unfortunately for Scott, this would be the only deer he sees all day. Scott heads in again, starting to lose some hope in his original setup. With luck not on his side and seeing very few deer, Scott, his wife Adele, and their kids head back out to a new spot to get reset up, hoping to find Old Man again. Spending time in the field with his wife and kids is something that Scott enjoys, and setting up is one of the best times for it. Being too noisy isn't that big of an issue, and the kids get to learn a lot. And once set up, Scott gets back to hunting, this time taking his little girl Cassidy with him.
Me and Cassidy are going to sit here tonight, and hopefully we see something.
We're staying until dark and looking for some deer to shoot at its big horns. We're hoping to find a big old grandpa deer.
Unfortunately, it doesn't appear that luck is wanting to cooperate with Scott, and he and Cassidy see only this one young buck. And that bad luck would continue for Scott right through until December. With luck still not on his side, it's now December, late season, and Scott's hunt is about to throw him a curveball.
Last 6 days, December 2nd here. Sit number 34 for me.
Scott's day 34 in the blind looking for the old man starts like most with an early encounter with this young buck. A short time later, the curveball comes when Scott sees a buck coming. A buck he doesn't recognize, and it's big, mature, and notice the bloodstained horn he has from fighting. And although not the old man, Scott quickly decides he will definitely take this buck given the opportunity. The big bruiser buck hears Scott draw his bow and wastes no time vacating the area, leaving Scott 34 days into his season, and he just lost his first encounter with a quality deer. Well, it's hard, but we've all been there to lose an opportunity at a great deer. But I'm also a firm believer that everything happens for a reason, and Scott still has a couple of days left in the season hoping for an encounter with Old Man.
Yesterday I thought it was all coming together. Had a nice big mature 8-point come in. Everything was working out, so that's behind us now. We're gonna go have a sit. She's cold again, so we're gonna go make our way across the field, get hunkered in the blind.
Shortly after getting in and set up, a young fawn makes an appearance, and only moments later, Scott looks out to see something he's been waiting years to lay his eyes on, the old man making his way closer. Welcome back. Before the break, after years of scouting, sheds, multiple setups, and weeks on stand, Scott was finally about to have an encounter with the buck he called the Old Man.
Well, that was exciting. That deer, I have 4 years of trail camera pictures of. When I first met him, I dubbed him Old Man. He just had a bigger body than the rest of the deer around. We put him at the 6.5, 7.5-year-old range. He's probably lost good 10, 15 inches from last year, but the inches with him and me didn't matter right now. I've been chasing him for 4 years. He's been number one on the list. I'm so pumped. I don't really know what to say. I keep looking out the window waiting for another deer to come, but I don't have to because it finally happened. Wow. Ecstatic right now. So I'm gonna wait for Dean to get here to do walk up and go get my hands on him. I can hardly wait. Some blood? There he is, buddy. He's right there, hey? That's him. Been waiting 4 years to get my hands on this guy.
That's an old buck, eh?
Yeah, first trail camera pictures I got of him were 4 years ago. Even at that time, he was the mature one in the area. Got him in good camera like today, 3:30 he came in. Put a good shot on him and the rest is history. Couldn't be any happier.
You talk about history. We've known Scotty for a while now, and it's pretty much been 4 years of every time he phones or texts, it starts off or it ends with Old Man. Either I can't find Old Man, I found Old Man, I'm hunting Old Man, I can't find Old Man. We don't know where he is. But, you know, like you said, he was a 145-inch deer 4 years ago. So, you know, he had to be at a minimum of 3 or 4 years old then, so he's an 8-plus-year-old deer. And we had, you know, the worst winter we've had in 60 years last year. I kind of had a feeling that he wasn't going to find him this year, but we got the text that Scotty had found him. And then he called tonight that he'd got him, and I'm pumped for you, man. Congratulations.
Thanks, Dean.
I know how much you wanted to get that deer.
36 nights.
Yeah, this year.
This year alone.
Kind of one of the most unique things was the first year that we did Canadian Whitetail that Jason and Steve and I were out, and we filmed the first season and we aired it, and then the second season was airing, and I got a message on Facebook from Scott and his little girl Cassidy, which would have been
4 at the time.
4 at the time. And it was a picture of her walking down a trail in the snow, wearing probably a 10 size too big Canadian Whitetail TV shirt, a white one because they had to wear colors in the late season. And Scotty had said that she was going to wear her Canadian Whitetail TV shirt because it was going to be their lucky shirt and they were going to get a deer that night. And this was actually the deer you were hunting, hey?
Yep.
And that was pretty cool. She was 4 years old. We sent her a DVD and a hat that didn't fit her and a DVD that she probably didn't want to watch.
She's watched that thing 100 times.
When he shot this deer tonight, that's the first thing I thought of was that little girl walking down the trail in that shirt. And I know how much this deer will mean to Scotty, and I know how much that deer will mean to them kids when you get home. If they're in bed or not, I don't think it matters.
No, exactly.
When you know, like I knew, how much that buck meant to Scott, well, it defines what hunting mature deer really means to those that share that passion. And getting to know Scott and his family is something that I cherish, and I know that the tale of the old man is only one of many more hunting stories that we'll share in the future. Congratulations again. I'm envious of your dedication and patience. Thanks for watching this week's Canadian Whitetail.